Listen carefully, because what I'm about to reveal isn't taught in business schools, isn't written in management books, and definitely isn't discussed in polite corporate meetings. Yet, behind every dominant empire, every unstoppable entrepreneur, every business that grows like a living organism, you will find the same hidden engine, a legal, ethical, publicly invisible version of the mafia mindset. Not the violence, not the crime, not the movies, but the psychology, the method, the precision, the code. Call it the shadow operating system of power. And once you hear it, you won't be able to unhear it. Your brain will start noticing patterns in CEOs, founders, and empire builders. And everything will suddenly make sense. Mafia families have an unbreakable principle. Loyalty is more valuable than brilliance. Smart people are everywhere, but dependable, aligned, mission-driven people, that is rare currency. Businesses collapse not because the talent wasn't good enough, but because the trust chain snapped. The mafia mindset teaches a legal truth. If you want to build something massive, build your inner circle first. People who don't flinch under pressure. People who don't scatter when things go dark. People who don't switch sides for a slightly better offer. Talent can be trained. Loyalty must be selected. Mafia structures are terrifyingly efficient because everyone knows exactly who decides what. No confusion, no blurred responsibilities, no maybe, no polite nonsense. The legal version? Crystal clear decision ownership. A team without hierarchy becomes a democracy of hesitation. A business without command structure becomes a battlefield of opinions. The mafia mindset reminds us, power is diluted when responsibility is shared. Give one person the steering wheel for each domain, and let them drive. The mafia uses silence for survival, but smart entrepreneurs use it for advantage. Most founders destroy leverage by talking too much, revealing plans too early, sharing goals with the wrong people, publicly announcing ideas they haven't executed, overexposing their psychology. Here's the truth. Silence is a business weapon. It protects momentum. It protects clarity. It protects your mind. Winners speak after the move is made, never before. Mafia dons don't make emotional decisions, not because they're heartless, but because they understand the cost of reacting instead of calculating. In legal business, your emotions are the enemy of strategy. Anger makes you overpay. Ego makes you defend bad decisions. Fear makes you shrink when you should advance. Envy makes you copy instead of innovate. The mafia mindset trains one rare skill: neutral thinking, a calm, cold assessment of reality, no matter how uncomfortable. A founder who can detach will always outperform a founder who can feel. The power of favor banking is one of the most misunderstood power principles in the world. The mafia doesn't rely only on money or status. They rely on debts, the psychological kind. A favor granted creates a thread. A favor returned strengthens it. A favor owed becomes leverage. In business, this is perfectly legal and incredibly effective. Help people before you need anything. Solve problems quietly. Connect power with power. Over time, you don't build a network. You build a reservoir of influence. And when you need something urgent, your phone becomes a weapon. Mafia organizations don't announce growth. They don't brag. They don't seek applause. They expand like shadows, quietly, steadily, methodically. Great businesses do the same. You don't scale by shouting. You scale by acquiring, automating, delegating, and systemizing without theatrics. By the time your competitors notice, you've already captured the ground beneath their feet. Dominate quietly. Reveal only results. Most people get stuck in business because they take everything personally. Criticism becomes an attack. Rejection becomes humiliation. Competition becomes hatred. Negotiation becomes ego war. The mafia mindset has a rule. Personal feelings are a distraction from objective advantage. When you detach your identity from the outcome, your ability to negotiate, pivot, and evolve becomes unstoppable. Nothing is personal. Every move is strategic. Here's the part no one wants to hear. Mafia families don't value everything equally. They prioritize ruthlessly. In business, this is the difference between stagnation and domination. Most people spend their time on low-value tasks, unnecessary meetings, fake productivity, emotional noise. The Mafia mindset teaches the rare skill. Cut fast, cut clean, cut often. If it doesn't move the mission, it must be minimized. If it drains your energy, it must be removed. If it doesn't compound, it must be replaced. Time is the real territory. Guard it like a fortress. Mafia organizations don't rush moves. They wait for the moment when the probability is highest and the resistance is lowest. But they are always preparing. Legal entrepreneurs must learn the same lesson. Patience is not passive. Patience is preparation. Most failures come from impatience. Launching too early, scaling too fast, quitting too soon. The Mafia mindset teaches you to prepare intensely, wait calmly, strike decisively, and suddenly, things that looked impossible become inevitable. Mafia leaders aren't powerful because they're violent. They're powerful because they are unafraid. Fearlessness creates clarity. Clarity creates authority. Authority creates influence. In business, this shows up as taking bigger calculated bets, walking away from bad deals, saying no without guilt, holding your ground during negotiation, making moves others are too timid to attempt. Fear shrinks the mind. Courage expands the world. The Mafia mindset is courage with calculation, and that is a lethal combination in business. Here's the difference between average entrepreneurs and empire builders. Average entrepreneurs chase customers. Empire builders secure territory. Territory can be anything: a niche, a distribution channel, a demographic, a monopoly of attention, a region, a problem only you solve. Businesses that dominate play a different game. They don't chase. They claim. They protect. They expand. And because of that, they endure. Every Mafia family has an internal code, written or unwritten, that governs behavior. Legal businesses need the same. Without a code, culture dissolves into chaos. Your code is the spine. What you tolerate, what you reward, what you demand, what you never negotiate. Most founders think they need a logo. What they really need is law, their own law. A business without a code is fragile. A business with a code becomes a fortress. There is always a consigliere, a silent advisor in the shadows, a mind behind the mind. Even the strongest leaders need counsel. Not cheerleaders, not yes men, but someone who tells the truth unfiltered. In legal entrepreneurship, this advisor is your unfair advantage. Someone who predicts threats you don't see, challenges your blind spots, strengthens your strategy, keeps your ego caged, sharpens your discipline. No king rules alone. No empire rises without guidance. The Mafia plans 10 moves ahead. Long before the operation begins, the exit is designed. Most entrepreneurs start businesses like they'll live forever. The Mafia mindset teaches every mission needs an exit. Every venture needs an off-ramp. Every deal needs an escape route. When you think with exits in mind, you take cleaner risks. You make smarter investments. You build systems, not chaos. You avoid emotional entanglement. You grow with direction, not drift. Begin with the end. Then reverse engineer your empire. Power without visibility. This is the final and most misunderstood principle. Mafia leaders operate in shadows because that's where leverage is uncontested. Business owners think success requires visibility, but the real players? They operate below the noise. Not hidden, just unreachable. They build wealth quietly. They accumulate influence without performance. They move resources without broadcasting. It's not secrecy, it's sovereignty. The Mafia mindset's final lesson. Power is most effective when it's not obvious. When you don't crave attention, you gain control. When you don't broadcast your moves, you multiply your leverage. When you don't seek applause, you build an empire that can't be attacked. Now you understand why the Mafia mindset is never about crime. It's about discipline, clarity, emotionless execution, and strategic dominance. It's the same psychology used by CEOs, founders, power brokers, and empire builders around the world, only refined, sanitized, and weaponized for legal business. And once you start thinking like this, you stop playing the market. You stop following the crowd. You stop reacting to life. You begin building with intention, expanding with precision, and moving like someone who already knows the ending. Because the truth is simple. The world doesn't reward the loudest. It rewards the most calculated. Welcome to the mindset of those who build quietly and win loudly.